Hello again, YouTube, and we are in the garage. You're gonna know what's happening because you're gonna see the title, but we're just gonna go ahead with the introduction. So whenever I'm in the garage, that means there's an update with the car or something. I promise we'll go upstairs and we'll sit down and there won't be any shaky cam, and I won't try to give you nauseous feelings, but I wanted to elaborate on some things. First of all, I haven't been on YouTube in a long time. This past week in particular is because I was in a wreck on June 3rd. And I didn't really get, we'll go into it when I get upstairs. This is mainly about the part with the car and everything that was going on with that. But the reason I haven't been on YouTube is I just haven't had anything to put on YouTube in a while. That's just been kind of boring. So I didn't want to make a video for that. So when I got in this wreck, the RAV4 was totaled. And I'll go into the story of what happened when we get upstairs again. This is showing my new vehicle. It only took me 2 days to get it. I went to Bmp-man Toyota, and so I did get another Toyota. And yeah, that's pretty much all that happened. My phone also got destroyed, so I had to get a new phone. So I have an iPhone 8 Plus. You're on it. My old phone, I don't know where it went. I couldn't find it, and I'm assuming it got destroyed because it got thrown out of my phone holder on the dashboard and smashed into the dashboard, and then it flew out of the car somewhere. Anyway, so without further ado, here is my new vehicle. It is a 2015 Toyota Tacoma Pre-Runner. And it has just over 80,000 miles on it. And it is a double access cab. Short bed. Here's a side view of it. I don't even have the registration for this thing yet or the plates. And basically tell you how bad this wreck was. The driver's side or the passenger side door and the passenger side back door were caved in. They wouldn't open. And I just got off the phone with State Farm today, and I have to get new plates because if they were going to try to take the plates off my old car, they're going to be damaged. But yeah, this is Toyota Tacoma. We'll let the tailgate down here, and someone has obviously had a toolbox in here at one point, which I'm planning on having at some point, just to keep all my shit in. One cool thing about this truck is you've got these side compartments, and I'll open this side. And it's just a little compartment. Put your stuff in. And then this side has these little tie-down things. And what these do is they go on these rails. You can see the dirt where I took it off. But it has these rails, and they go on like this, or they go in and then like this, and then you twist it down. And those are supposed to be like tie-down points, which I think is pretty fucking cool. And it's got the manual back window, it slides open. I'm pretty sure, I'm gonna have to look at other Tacomas around this year, but there's a hook, where you at? Right here. There's a hook right here, and there's a hook on that side. I'm pretty sure whoever had this before put that up there. Here's the inside. So with this, you have a touch screen. It has Bluetooth, FM, AM radio. my phone holder that was in the crash actually survived somehow. It did come flying off. The driver's, actually, let's go over to the driver's side. This side doesn't really have a whole lot going on other than a glove box, and you got a cup holder right here. And there's a cup holder right here, and then there's two up here, and you can take these rubber pieces out. There was one up here, but it's in here right now because that cup is too big. Does not have fog lamps, which I kind of wanted, but I guess it's whatever. We'll go over to the driver's side. I don't have the keys with me, or else I would start it for you guys. But here is the instrument cluster, and this is pretty much the drive position. Then there's more cup holders on the door here. The back seat is where all the cool shit's at. All right, so here's the back seat. There's one dome light in here. If I could fix anything, I'll put another one like right back here somewhere. There's the coat hangers on the back and that side too. And then the back gets a cup holder, and it also gets a button for each, well, I guess it's just the passenger side. And you can let this up and move it, the whole seat. But the cool thing about this is the bottom of this seat raises up, and this compartment opens up. I can grab a hold of it, and it's on a hinge, and you got some storage space. And then you just close it back down, and also the back of this seat folds down, and you got some more storage space, a little bit. And then that folds in, and then you go to the other side, and guess what? This seat, which is bigger, folds up, and then this little compartment opens on a hinge, and you got more storage, and you've got your jack and your tire iron in here. And you close that, put that back down, and this back seat goes down, and you've got even more storage, just a little bit. And there's a little shelf in there and everything. So yeah, good shit, right? And then there's cup holders on the doors on both sides as well. And it has all power windows. Now, I already have done a modification to this truck as of today. Here is the old radio antenna. I believe it's 31 inches long. I think that's what they said it was online. I got a new one right here. It's 15 inches long. The reason I got this is because it scrapes the top. Well, when the door is open, this bottom part is open. I need to clean that, but it scrapes the bottom of that, and it scrapes the wood on the other side of this. And it also might hit this garage door opener, but we had to get rid of that because that was driving me nuts. It was damaging the antenna. It was fucking driving my mom nuts. So we gotta fix that. So yeah, that's a 2015 Toyota Tacoma pre-runner. I did find out that the pre-runner means that it basically has a lift kit on it. Is what I believe it means. You can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but because I'm not 100% sure, and the guy at the dealership didn't even fucking know. So, so yeah, we're going to go upstairs now, and we're going to set up our tripod and talk about what happened. Be right back. Okay, so we're back upstairs. Set my tripod up and everything, and hopefully the dog will stay over where he's at because I've actually got the door open, and he's just kind of hanging out on the couch. By the way, he's doing all right. He's started to kind of mellow out now. He used to be like hyper all the fucking time, like get up your ass and everything. Anyway, so basically to sum up what happened, I was driving home from work, and well, wait a minute. So the story I've been telling everybody that's in my family is I was driving home from work is how it starts out. What really happened was now it was already late at night when I went out and left work actually. But what I did was I went to a bar. Now I didn't get in. He's saying, "Oh, he went to a bar, he got fucking drunk, and he got in a wreck." Okay, it's a DUI. No, I had one drink. Okay, I was not intoxicated in any way. And it was a short glass, so it definitely didn't fuck me up at all. I have those all the time. I have two all the time usually. But that particular night, we went to a bar with a couple of friends after work, and I got one drink, and there were several other people that got completely fucked up. But view myself as a little bit more responsible than some other people that I go out to the bar with. Especially the one that gets completely fucking wasted every time we go to the bar. Pretty much. I mean, he can walk and he can make sentences sometimes. He's visibly drunk, you can tell. Anyway, we went to the bar, and after that, me and that one guy that gets drunk every time went to Waffle House. That's not out of the normal at all. That happens all the time. Went to Waffle House, left. And actually, I drove him to Waffle House, and then I drove him back to the theater so he could get his car. So, anyway, I drove home, or I started driving home, and I got all the way, I was maybe 8 miles, well, I wouldn't even say 8 miles, maybe 5 miles from my house. I got off of the interstate, and I got on a road that's a kind of, if you didn't already know, I kind of live sort of in the country a little bit. I don't want to say it's 100% country, but it is a small town, and there are lots of trees and, just greenage everywhere. So I get off of the interstate, I'm going down the road, and, the speed limit is 55 through there. There's one point where it turns into 50, but most of it is 55. And I'm going down the road, and I go around this corner, and I'm going straight, and then this deer jumps out in front of me. And I'm thinking, in this very instance when this deer jumps out in front of me, I said, okay, hopefully this is like every other time a deer's ever jumped out in front of me. It's going to jump either over the car, it's going to stop before it gets in front of me, or I can just swerve and avoid it. So, this deer didn't initially jump out in front of me, but what happened was that, and I didn't have my brights on either, but it was walking out of the grass side of the road, on my side of the road, walking, and then so I put on my brakes and start to go over this way a little bit so I'll go around it or something. And there's nobody on the road. This is like 3:30 in the morning, and I can clearly see in front of me if there's anybody there. But I start slowing down to go around it, and this deer jumps in front of the car, and when the second I saw it jump, I slammed the brakes, and I'm already turning, so I'm turning a little bit more now, and the wheels are locked, tires are screeching, the deer plows into the front of the car, and then the car shuts off. I remember the car shut off, and then I guess what happened is the deer got lodged in the front bumper of my car, and then fell off the front bumper and went underneath the car. And when I was turning, I guess it made me do a 180. And then I started rolling backwards, and I couldn't control the car. The steering was not working. And I just didn't know what to do. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put on the brakes, or I'm gonna keep on the brakes, but I don't know what to do here. So we'll pray for the best. And so I start rolling backwards, and I hit dirt. And I said, okay, we're hitting dirt. Maybe that'll slow me down enough to where I don't do anything bad. So, well, that didn't work. So it's terrible, but so I'm rolling backwards, and it's dirt, and I'm like, okay. And then the next thing I know, the vehicle starts going like this, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And the car goes, I'm trying to think how I could explain this. The car is backwards, and then I feel like it goes this way a little bit. Like, imagine if you're viewing the car, it's going backwards, and the side of the car, like the driver's side, is in front of you, and you're on the side of the car, the driver's side is in front of you, and the car tilts like this a little bit. It does that, and it goes back and tilts, and then the front end goes down like this. And then it comes to a rest, and the car does this. And so the ass end of the car is sticking not completely up in the air, but it's almost there. And the front of the car is sticking straight down into the ground. So what happened was that when I flipped to 180 and went backwards, I went off onto the other side of the road, and the back end of the car stayed in the grass, but the front end of the car came off of a 5-foot deep culvert that went over a water main. And the top of the car hit the water main, which is why the passenger side roof is caved in on it. But it hit the water main and burst it. And when the car came to a rest, I was basically sitting like I am right now, but like this. Like almost 90-degree angle downwards. And I sat there for a second, and I was like, okay, I'm alive, but what the fuck just happened? And I'm sitting there, and I hear rushing water, and my first instinct is, okay, maybe the car is trying to run, turn the key, turn the key, turn the car off. Nothing happened. And I'm like, why is there rushing water? Now, of course, at this point, I didn't know what was going on, because I was like, why do I hear rushing water? And then I get out of the car, back up, shit. I'm in the car, in the seat, and I'm thinking, okay, I don't even know what to fucking do. And of course you're gonna get up, aren't you? Yeah, you are. Can you sit down? I'm trying to tell a story. No, leave me alone. Okay. So I'm in the car, seatbelt all on and everything. Airbags are deployed. The driver's side, the airbag, the side curtain airbags went off. The steering wheel airbag went off, and I think that was all. The windshield was caved in and cracked a whole lot. The passenger side I could see was caved in. The roof was caved in. And I could see a little bit of light out of the back, like the very, very back of my car, out of the RAV4. And I'm thinking, okay, how the fuck do I get out of here? And what is this rushing water? Like, I don't know, I don't see any flames, so I'm thinking, well, it's not fire. So maybe it's my intercooler, or my antifreeze coming out of the engine or something, because it was hot. I didn't see anything. I just heard water, and I tried to move the airbag on the passenger side, and I moved it, and I saw rushing water, but it wasn't going inside the car. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm in a ditch, and this is like the water, because it had rained the previous day, but I didn't think there was any water sitting in the ditch. I thought, well, maybe this is a runoff, and that's just going past the car. So I was like, okay, we're fine with that. So then I'm like, okay, how the fuck do I get out of this car? And so I try to open the driver's side door, and I'm like, okay, it won't open. The passenger side window, by the way, was broken. And I'm like, okay. By the way, before all this happened, I tried to find my phone. I didn't know where my fucking phone was at. I was like, okay. I had my Apple Watch. It wasn't working. And it wasn't making outbound calls. It was still on, but it wasn't making outbound calls. And I was like, that's the whole point I got this fucking watch, because it's cellular. So I can use it when it's not connected to my phone. I was like, whatever. So how the fuck am I going to get out of this car? So I tried to open the driver's side door. Wouldn't open. I moved the airbag. There's a mud wall right there. I'm like, okay. For some odd reason, I tried to open the passenger side front door. Didn't open because it was caved in. I tried to open the rear passenger side door and it was caved in. And, you know, same thing. And then I thought, well, maybe I can try to get out of the back hatch. But then I was like, well, it's at the very top end of the car in relation to where I'm at. And it might move the car if I am indeed in a ditch. So the car might roll. Also, that door opens sideways, so it's not very good for doing that. Also, there's a spare tire on the back of it, so it's going to be really fucking heavy. So then I tried to open the driver's side passenger door in the back. And that opened just fine and flung open and hit the ground, even parallel with the ground, how I needed to get out. So I was like, okay. So now I just need to somehow get in the back seat at a 90-degree angle, up over this driver's seat, and then crawl out of the car. So I fling the door open, it hits the ground, and then I get my knees up, and then I release the seat belt. I put the keys in my pocket, and then my jacket from work was still there. I noticed it was basically untouched. So I got that and flung it into the back seat, hung it over the headrest. That was probably the funniest part of this whole thing. But I was like, well, the jacket looks fine, so I'll take it. So I flung the jacket into the back seat, and then I got my legs up to where they were on the steering wheel, and then I stood up, and then I pulled myself over the driver's seat, and then put my feet on the driver's seat on the back of it, and then got my jacket, and then put it over the driver's seat, and then it's just terrible to be laughing about, but it's what I did. So, and then I got up onto the door portion of the car, and then I got the jacket and hung it over the back headrest where I was just at. And then I got onto the door portion and started crawling out, and then I got my jacket and got out of the car. I don't know why that's so fucking funny to me, but it is. So I then start walking down the road, and I'm like, well, if I walk one way, I can walk all the way down to this gas station. It's kind of shifty. I don't know. And then the other way, which is even farther, which is closer to my house, I could walk up that way, but it's up a giant hill, and it's going to take me forever to get over there. So I said, well, I'll start walking to this gas station, and if I see someone, I'll flag them down. I'll try to flag somebody down. So I start walking, and there was a couple cars that passed me. They didn't even fucking stop. They swerved to avoid the deer that was in the middle of the road. By the way, the ass end of that deer is missing. We don't know where it went. So I start walking down the road because my watch isn't working. I was like, I wasn't going to call 911 and then call my mom, but, you know, it wouldn't work. So I walk down the street, and then there's this guy that comes up with this F-150, and he's driving down the road. He's going towards the interstate, and he stops, or he goes down the road, turns around, comes back my way, and he says, "Hey, are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm as okay as I'm going to be. My car isn't so much. It's in a ditch, and it's it's in this drop off over here." And he said, "Where are you at?" Because it's a brown car at night in the middle of this dirt and green, so you can't fucking see it. So he's like, "Where's your car?" I was like, "It's right there. See the tail light?" And he was like, "Oh shit, how did you get out of there?" I was like, "I just crawled up into the back seat and just flung the door open and crawled out of the car, jacket and all." He said, "What the fuck? What'd you do? Hit that fucking deer?" I said, "Yeah, I fucking destroyed it, but it's dead. You want it?" And he was like, "No, but do you need to?" I said, or he asked me, "Do you need to call somebody?" I said, "Well, I need to call 911. That'd be the first problem, because my phone got thrown out the window. I don't know where it went, and my watch isn't working. So, can I use your phone?" He said, "Well, I'll call 911 for you. But if you need to call anybody else after that, I can let you use my phone." I was like, "Okay." So he calls 911, and then right around that time, my watch started working again. I don't know what the fuck that was, but then I called my mom from my watch, and I said, "Hey, I got in a wreck. It's pretty bad. Pretty sure the car's totaled. I'm okay. I can move. Nothing is missing." Told her where I was at. She was like, "Okay, I'll be there in a couple minutes." So by this time, this is when the ambulance and the police and the fire engine and all that shit showed up. And they checked me out and was like, "Okay, well," and by the time they sat me in the ambulance and checked me out and ran my blood pressure and everything, my mom showed up and was like, "Hey, what'd you do?" I said, "I'll tell you in a minute when I got an ambulance." I said, "Did you see the car?" She's like, "I saw the car and the deer." I said, "All right." And then I got out of the ambulance. I said, they called a wrecker service. They called Carter's, and they're supposed to be coming to get the supposed to be coming to get the car out of the ditch. And yeah, so that's a thing. And she said, "Okay, well, are you okay?" I said, "Well, I'm hurting in my legs a little bit, and I've got you can't see it now, but I had some scratches from the airbag, or burn marks from the airbag, I guess, up here on the top part of my head. They're gone now." And she said, "Okay, well, let's go sit in the truck." She doesn't stand up anymore. And so, meanwhile, the police are still standing there. Well, we wait. By this time, it's almost damn near 6 in the morning. And luckily, it was a Saturday morning, I think, or a Sunday morning, one of those two. I was supposed to close that night. And so we wait. The wrecker finally shows up, and he starts to get the car out of the ditch. And it turns out that I hit the water main, like I said earlier. I hit a water main, and it was spraying all over the fucking place once the car started moving. And so then the cop calls the Metro Water to come fix it. And there's water going all up in the street. Traffic's backed up both ways down the street. And I said to my mom, I said, "Well, I know I'm extremely lucky to get out of the situation, but I caused a huge fucking mess." And she said, "Yeah, yeah, you did." So, yeah, that's pretty much what happened with the wreck itself. And then I got a rental car. I got a 2018 Nissan Rogue, and I only had it for a couple days. I found the truck at Beeman Toyota, and then now I've been dealing with the insurance company. They've agreed to finally pay the whole car in full. I know I still owe money on it, about $8,000 something on it, but they've agreed to pay it because I got the gap insurance and all this extra shit. And so my next course of action is getting plates. I was supposed to get the plates off my old car, but they said that it was too damaged to get the plates off the car, so I have to somehow get new plates now. So that's a thing. And then I've got my new insurance cards today. I need to get my registration, and yeah. Yeah, that's all I can really think about the whole situation. That's kind of where we're at right now. Is I've got the truck and I'm driving it, and it's great. It's a little bit more heavy on gas, I would say. But yeah, that's all I can really say about the situation. I'm really lucky to get out of this whole thing alive, but and in the condition I am, I've still got a little bit of a bruise right here. I've got really bad bruising. It's starting, the color of my skin is starting to come back, but in my legs on both sides, kind of running up to the middle, and also on my stomach, there's some pretty bad bruising. And especially on this side where the seatbelt hit my leg, the connection with the seatbelt. So, yeah, remember, like, comment, favorite, subscribe, like the Facebook page will be linked down below in the description. I'm going to go play with this dog because he keeps shoving the ball at my asshole. You want to say bye, Parker? You want to say bye? Bye.